The Jayhawks kick off Big 12 play with a thwomping of West Virginia, 41-10 at home, 1-0 to kick off the Big 12 portion of play. And the question we have is Kansas football Big 12 contenders? Let's get into it. Welcome into the KC Sports Authority podcast. Keegan Russell, JB, and Austin with you guys in this live edition. If you're over here watching us with YouTube, chat is always open for you, so drop all of your thoughts, comments below there. Make sure you hit that like button as well, so more Jayhawk fans like yourself will find the podcast, and hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And if you're checking us out on Twitter or Facebook Live tonight, thank you so much. Again, feel free to leave your comments. If you're following along on Twitter, tweet at us. We'd love to continue interacting with the fans, because I will have some questions for you guys throughout tonight's episode. But before we kick that off, just another thing I want to tease. If you haven't seen it yet, I already posted this to our YouTube page yesterday, but go check out my interview with Tyshawn Taylor that I sat down with him for a few minutes last week over at the Kansas Nation Sports Lounge. So shout out to our guys, Kansas Nation. But great conversation with Tyshawn, talking the TBT and all that. Go check that out. I really grilled him on the loss that JB and I witnessed, asked him the tough questions about that game. So go check it out. Robert, Bob, thank you as always. Always patiently ready to jump in here. Looking forward to it. But guys, 1-0 to start the season. Start Big 12 play.
Big 12 play, yeah.
Go ahead and throw it up on the screen here.
Look at that.
Woo! Technically in first in conference play, as you'll notice, another team is at the very bottom highlighted, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But KU 1-0 in Big 12 play, 3-1 on the season. Half the league hasn't either won a game yet or hasn't played a Big 12 game yet. But how are we feeling after the 41-10 beatdown of West Virginia, a game that we all sat here a week ago and said was going to be much closer than the 11 to 12.5 spread? And after the first quarter, I mean, this game was over.
It really was. I like how you said in the intro, thwomping.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
What was that?
I don't know what word I was trying to say. Thwarting, maybe a womping. But I have no idea. A whooping. It just came out as a thwomp. So new word, thwomp.
Dude, you know what? That's what it was, though. That's what it was. We went to the game, and I can't tell you how long it's been since I have been stress-free at a game. Like stress-free. I'm watching that game thinking, this is the best thing in the world right now. We're at the new booth. We are absolutely destroying West Virginia, and it's nothing against West Virginia, but like how wild is it just to think? I hate to be that guy again, to be like, whoa, just where we were, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. Dude. Yeah, Robert, we decimated them. I love that. They didn't stand a chance. I mean, they didn't come ready. I mean, they were coming off that emotional high of beating Penn State, like we talked about, and that is a recipe for success. Apparently,
I remember telling that to you as we were walking into the stadium. I was like, I don't know. I kind of got a different feeling now. Like, yeah, I threw out there to you 49-10 that this was West Virginia was going to come out, maybe score in their first possession, and then it's just a struggle the rest of the game because, yes, they used all that energy in an overtime win last week. KU coming off the bye, super prepared, wanting to get off to a big start, Big 12 play. And, we'll talk a little bit about the game because there were a couple drives that stalled out early for sure offensively.
Thank you, Bob, for that.
41-10 beatdown. Austin, you were also there at the game, and I'm going to call you out here in front of the audience.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry.
The last
bad.
The two games I've been to this year, JB as well, we have tried to link up with Austin so we can get a picture of the three of us in the same spot at the same time. Both games, Austin has left early. Now, blowout win, so it's understandable. You want to get back to Kansas City.
Shame.
Let me have it.
Just throw it out to the chat there.
Let me have it.
How many of you believe when do you decide it is okay to leave a game early? Me personally,
really my
I am
decision.
a stay past the buzzer all the time, but is there a general rule you have to follow that allows you to leave a game early? Thoughts, anybody?
Listen,
Uh,
Listen, both of those times weren't my decision, okay? I mean, it was really a collective decision, but you texted me like literally as soon as I left, and I was like, oh,
Well,
crap.
in fairness, there was really, really bad signal that game. It took like 30 minutes for that message to send.
My internet was fine. It's probably because I have AT&T. I know there was something before the season started that like people with AT&T were going to have better service than everybody else. I don't
And
know.
you're gonna have Wi-Fi, which I did. It just kept sitting there as pending. Yeah, Bob's appalled. You should be appalled.
dude,
I
Leaving
know.
a game early.
look,
Well, hey,
you
listen.
know,
Honestly, is it really like if you're obviously leaving a game early, you may think that's a bad thing because your team's losing. But if you're leaving a game early because they're
winning.
your team's blowing out somebody, I mean that's
That is different.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to
A
justify.
lot of people left early too.
But I mean, I did miss the LaShawn Williams run, and I'm very upset about that. But I did it to myself. It's my fault and my fault only, nobody else's. I mean, the buddy I went with, we were like, I'll leave after like the end of the third quarter, because like the game was already over. But that game ended whenever Emmanuel Henderson took it back to the house. Going into the starting off the second half of that kickoff return. I mean, that's really when I thought the game ended because that sucked all the momentum away from West Virginia because I thought, maybe there was a chance they could get a stop and make it a 2-possession game and try and make it close at that point. But like that kickoff return just ended the game for me. So
Yeah, it's fair.
That was an explosive. Like I had just come back from getting some food when that happened. I was at the top of the stairs, watched the kickoff return. So glad I didn't miss that part because that was electric. First time I think since 2020 that we've had a kick return for a touchdown. And
that was sick.
That was Kenny Logan.
He does.
Iowa State, I think that was the last kickoff return.
Gosh, boy, Kenny. I still miss Kenny, man. I miss him.
Same.
Oh, speaking of that, we got, man, I should have queued this up, and now I regret that I haven't found this yet. I'll have to put it on Twitter. That hit Lyric Rawls put on West Virginia, like that gives Kenny Logan a run for his money on how hard of a hit you see from a safety. I mean, that was like that man's like career was about to be ended. It was a freight train straight head on, just drilled him. The whole place was like boom. I can just see it on repeat. Here comes the boom. Here comes the boom. Like that was incredible. That was not the only hard hit of the game either. KU's defense pretty much shut West Virginia down. The run game, which we talked about, being a little nervous that they have 3 quarterbacks that can run the ball, and clearly the choice not to play either of their other quarterbacks until late in the game probably was a mistake looking back on it because KU held them in check for the most part, but they still had a couple of big QB runs. But super impressed with the defense at home. DK McDonald had a fantastic game plan. I was telling this to a couple of buddies this week. The fact that KU is so athletic again on defense, safeties, corners, linebackers, even the guys that are inexperienced, when you have speed and athleticism, that can certainly help make up for some of maybe the talent level or the coaching that still needs to take place to get the fundamentals down. But having super athletic linebackers really helps in the run game. Bengali Kamara has been fantastic. John Kamara, I thought looked incredible, not just in the rundowns, but in pass coverage, that speed and athleticism. He made several big time plays, but like I said, this was a beatdown from the start. Outside of maybe 3 offensive drives by KU, maybe 4, things were clicking pretty well with the run game. Jalen had a couple errant throws that you still like to see him make because it shows that he's can be the playmaker when you need to. But just airmailed a couple of those passes. But I really didn't have much negative at all to take away from this game, other than the fact that Highshaw goes out hurt. After I think 1 play in the first quarter, and I didn't catch Hawk Talk tonight, so I don't know if there was any update given on Highshaw. But LaShawn Williams, he looked good. He had the receiving touchdown, couple big time plays, some great chunk yards throughout the middle of the game. We got to see some Johnny Thompson in there too. Really all the backup running backs played. Harry Stewart got in there as well. So yeah, all around love the game. But any big takeaways for you guys from this starting out 1-0?
I think I have to update my season record prediction again, dude.
That's a good problem.
mean, that's a good problem to have. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like hinting at we
Ooh,
have to get
seriously, as
another
I
win.
say that, the first availability report comes out.
Oh no.
And right now, Highshaw is listed as doubtful. So probably not going to play. Austin Alexander, Taylor Davis, and DJ Graham all got banged up last week. They're all probable, so should play. Nobody that's listed as out has played much this year anyway. Dylan Brooks, we haven't seen him this year at all. Mason Ellis is also doubtful, so that kind of hurts with the safeties. And of course, Devin Dye is going to miss the first half from his targeting call, which we saw 2 targeting. In this game.
Yeah, that don't ever hit our quarterback like that because you'll get pounced later on. So West Virginia had to learn it the hard way, but it was good to see Jalen bounce back after taking that type of a hit, and I'm glad he didn't get hurt either because it looked pretty bad. I mean, his head went down into the turf whenever he got hit. I mean, you can get concussed pretty easily by that. So
when he immediately went to the refs, I knew he was fine. But yeah, he took a hit on that there. I mean, like I said, this game had a lot of physical, strongman, big boy football time hits in it from both sides. We saw it on both sides, but
I think KU was just frustrated about that Missouri loss, and that's why we saw all those hits on Saturday. So it was good to see KU take their anger and frustration out on West Virginia.
Yeah. So KU's 1-0. Again, starting conference play 1-0. We needed to see that. We wanted to see that. It bodes well for this season. Let me pull that back up for those of you that are watching us right now. Big 12 standings. KU 1-0, tied there at the top with Iowa State and Texas Tech, 2 of the best teams in the conference, of course. Houston, Arizona State. And then you've got a handful of teams that haven't had a Big 12 game just yet. And you've got, of course, the teams at the bottom, which K-State being one of them. My gosh, I think we said it 2 weeks ago. The start they are having, you don't feel bad for them at all. But
Matt Wells is the greatest offensive coordinator ever. Extend him.
The start they are having is very reminiscent of KU last year. So they are going through the pains we went through last year. Just not the same K-State football team, but sucks to suck for them. Hopefully this is the year we get that win at home because
if we don't, it's over.
It's never going to happen if we don't do it this year.
No.
Yeah, they might just lose to UCF on Saturday, who looks really.
They might. I mean, UCF has looked a lot better. I mean, obviously they had that 17-10 win over Jacksonville State at home. It didn't. That's an ugly game, but they had a 2 hour rain delay, I think, in the middle of the game. So obviously that kind of messes up the flow of the game and everything. But I mean, UCF has looked a lot better. I'm scared about next week's game already. Just being honest. I think KU's a better team on paper, but I mean, we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah, and UCF hasn't played a conference game yet, but they blow out Bill Belichick in North Carolina 34-9. Be a big time matchup for K-State on the road this weekend. But this is a KU podcast, as everybody knows, so we'll get back to the Hawks. But 1-0, chance to go 2-0 this weekend with a decent Cincinnati team coming in. Cincinnati, I don't think is as good as they may have looked to start. Let me go back to pulling them up here. But a chance to go 2-0, which would put you definitely in the driver's seat for the Big 12. So the question, of course, as you guys can see it on the screen there, well, I guess it disappeared. Let me put it back up there. Are the Jayhawks Big 12 contenders? What is the vibe, the feeling? Should the Jayhawks be considered a true Big 12 contender? Are they in position to be Big 12 contender? Has any part of the first several weeks of the season, not just for the Hawks, but for the rest of the Big 12, said anything about KU being one of the better teams in this conference? And I think the easiest answer is yes, they are one of the better teams. But are they Big 12 contenders?
Big yikes. Yes, I would say so. You can't you just can't look at that game, how we handled West Virginia, and think, okay, these guys are going to lose I don't know, half of their Big 12 matchups. It's just not going to happen. I feel like I don't know. I'm changing my tune, man. I just feel like we have to. I think before at the beginning of the season, I was saying we were going 6-6, and then we started the season, and I'm gonna say, okay, it's 7-5. Now I'm on the 8-4 train, dude. Like it is. It is insane to see how efficient we have been, and even in our loss to Mizzou, like we had so many flashes of what makes this team great. We have, some injuries, but every team has injuries, and this is just something that I feel like we displayed our next man up mentality with that win over West Virginia. Daniel Highshaw goes down, and it didn't matter at all. Now, and that's not even a knock on Daniel Highshaw. We love him. He's great. We would love to have him back and healthy and winning us games and getting touchdowns. But we're in such a great position with our depth that I didn't think we would have to start this season. I think we've done a tremendous job preparing for games. And have we faltered a little bit with Mizzou? Yeah, obviously. Okay, so what? We've already moved past that, and we've had this dominant win. And I think we can carry that over into future games. I expect us to carry that over into future games. And especially if we can continue this role and beat K-State, that's going to be setting us up for, at the very least, a Big 12 title match with whomever is on the other end of the field.
I'm going to throw this back up there as well to cut JB's face off for a second. The Big 12 race, in the betting odds, KU has the 5th best odds, plus 900. So clearly better than where they were probably ranked preseason. I think they were projected to finish like 6th, 7th, 8th. So they're kind of right on par there. But you see teams like BYU, Arizona, who were supposed to be good, K-State supposed to be better, much farther behind. So where it sits now, first off, I love the value on that. Now, this is to win the Big 12 conference. So to make it to the Big 12 championship and win, not just be in the game. But plus 900, Iowa State, TCU, Arizona State, Texas Tech, all ahead of us. I would probably agree that at least 4 of those teams are truly better. I think Arizona State's still they've looked okay, but they don't think they look as good as they did last year. So, Austin, as you look at the Big 12, I don't know how much you've watched other teams yet, but where do you think Kansas stacks up currently as best team in the Big 12?
Well, I like to do my own power rankings every single week, and last night I said Kansas is like the 7th best team in the conference right now. I had like guys like BYU and Utah and Texas Tech, Iowa State, TCU. Those are just some of the teams I had ahead of KU right now. But I mean, listen, take care of business this weekend and next weekend too. I mean, I think the UCF game is going to be a lot tougher than I think we all anticipate going into the season. If you take care of business in those 2 games, and if they're 5-1 going into Lubbock, I think they position themselves up well to be in that Big 12 race. Now, when you look at Texas Tech, I think Texas Tech's going to the Big 12 championship game. I'm not saying that because I'm a Tech fan, obviously, but I mean it. I watched that Utah game before I left to go to Lawrence for the West Virginia game, and I got to watch like the first 3 quarters. Obviously, the 4th quarter, Tech loses their quarterback, but then their backup comes in and throws like 2-3 touchdowns. Unbelievable. But, man, Texas Tech's defensive line, I mean, if you thought Missouri was tough, boy, like Texas Tech, I think they have a much better defensive line than I think the one that.
Yeah, I think they have probably the best defensive line in the conference and the best one we'll see all season.
Yeah, for sure. And, this is going to be, when we go play Tech, it'll be their homecoming game. They're also celebrating 100 years of Texas Tech football. So, I mean, it's like Tech can't lose that game, right? So there's a lot riding on that game. And that game just got sold out this week. So,
wow.
And Texas, well, here's the thing. Texas Tech fans they've been selling out games left and right lately, and and it's obvious. I mean, those people in Lubbock, like, they see the growth of their football team, and you've seen the investments that they've made and all the renovations that they've done too. I mean, we're not the only one renovating our football facilities. I mean, Texas Tech, if you guys have probably seen the video of their indoor facility, it's pretty cool. But I'm hoping to be there in Lubbock here in a few weeks for that game. So I'm still figuring out logistics. But moving ahead to the rest of the Big 12, I think KU can compete in the Big 12, for that Big 12 title this year, but you really got to take care of business, in these next couple of weeks. If you beat K-State, that's really good. Obviously you get that, that cloud, going away from hanging over your head, but then you got Arizona and Iowa State. Those are 2 road games.
Back-to-back road games. Now they do have a bye week in between those 2, which is great. But back-to-back road games towards the end of the season there, around Thanksgiving.
I would say this, you beat Cincinnati, UCF, lose to Texas Tech. Obviously, that would hurt. But, at the end of the day, I think if KU at least puts up a competitive game against Texas Tech, I think that would, say a lot, especially when we get towards the end of the season. But, you win at least maybe one of those 2 games, Arizona and Iowa State. Iowa State's also coming off of a bye week going into that game, so that'll be tough. And it's also their senior day. So, historically, just looking at Iowa State, they've done pretty well on their senior day. So, and then you got Utah to close out the season. I think Utah will compete for that Big 12 title as well. But they haven't won a Big 12 game at home since they've joined the conference, from what I understand. So, because you guys have heard Utah fans saying we're going to run the conference, we're going to run the table, and this and that, but yet they've yet to have a Big 12 win at home. But I still think Utah's going to be a good team this year. I see them win like 7 to 8 games, right around where I think KU will finish up at. But, take care of business in these next 2 weeks and play a good game against Texas Tech at least. And if you can get a win, that'd be great. But it'll tell a lot. I think it just with these next 3 games coming up, it'll say a lot about where KU's at in the race.
I do want to touch on this because I think Travis has a good point here. I would argue KU hasn't played better than a C-plus game as of yet. And outside of Mizzou, we have blown everyone out. Go back to West Virginia. We probably left close to 24 points on the board by having some offensive miscues, Lance again not being as aggressive in different areas of the field that we could. So if KU's playing C+, even a B- right now, and they continue to get better as the season goes along, you're in a really good spot. So Travis, I think that's great. For those of you watching, of course, you can see on the screen here, I got the schedule pulled up. So you got Cincinnati this weekend, 11 a.m. kickoff. Those early kickoffs are always a little interesting.
A little dicey.
So I would not be shocked if that gets off to a slow start. But the cool thing on this is it's on TNT. So this is a nationally televised game. So the general public's going to be able to see KU football this weekend, which is great for the school, great for the conference. But you get the job done this weekend. You start off 2-0. You go to a big time matchup against UCF. So let's say UCF beats K-State this weekend. They're feeling good. They're feeling like pretty solid. KU goes down, tough environment, gets the job done. Start out 3-0. Big Texas Tech game coming up, which I think the confidence level is very low that KU comes out. Texas Tech looks really good. So let's say you lose that game. So you're 3-1 in conference play. You got K-State at home. You take care of business finally because K-State's bad. You get the job done. 4-1 in conference play with 4 opponents left. Oklahoma State, who's completely, absolutely broken. RIP Mike Gundy as far as his coaching days at Oklahoma State. Massive shakeup for them. He's been there forever. One of the best coaches their program's ever had. I was on another podcast last night talking about it, and Mike Gundy, tremendous coach, but I think the NIL age and era of college football just wasn't for him.
I agree.
Struggled to keep guys around, struggled to get guys to come in. It was time to change the page. But Oklahoma State's broken. They've got nothing to play for the rest of this year. I bet, though, this weekend, I think they're 20.5-point dogs to Baylor. Not saying they win, but I do think they come out and play with a lot of fire and keep that game close. So if you want a betting angle in the game this weekend, again, don't think Oklahoma State wins that game, but teams coming off of a coach firing midseason with an interim tend to play up for that first game. So I'd like Oklahoma State there. But so you take on Oklahoma State, beat them, you're 5-1. Let's say you split Arizona, Iowa State, so you're 6-2 with a chance to beat Utah at home, go 7-2. So you finish 10-2 on the season. I think that's probably I wouldn't say the ceiling, but the good odds for that.
That sounds beautiful.
10-2. Like again, if we went back to preseason, I don't think we'd be saying that. But and part of my answer on that is because some of these other teams don't look as good currently as projected. So that could obviously change.
Yeah.
But 10-2 seems like a possibility.
Well, the thing
I'm sorry, 9-3. I
9 and
messed
3.
up on the math. Yeah, 9-3, 2 Big 12 losses. You got the Mizzou loss, so 9-3, which is still, I think, I have to roll the tape back, but I want to say I said 8 wins or more. So that's still on par for sure. A little bit ahead of what I thought. JB, I know you were a little less optimistic coming into the year.
It
But a
was.
9-3 season, does 2 Big 12 losses put them in a conference title game?
Maybe.
I mean,
Man,
some of the Big 12 has to eat each other up. I don't have all the schedules in front of me of each team, but
I obviously would feel a lot better if it was just one Big 12 loss, but
I don't see any team, maybe Tech. I don't see any team going undefeated in Big 12 play.
I don't think
So-
Tech's going to go undefeated in Big 12 play. I think they'll lose a game or two.
imagine if we beat them.
So I'm looking at Tech's schedule.
Imagine.
They have at Houston this week or next. Oh, they're on a bye week this week. So at Houston next week, then KU, then at Arizona State. So they do have 2 big games there. They have BYU later. I still think, as much as I hate to say it, I do think K-State's going to bounce back. I don't think they're as bad as they've looked because they're still putting up enough points to win games. They're just making a ton of mistakes. So K-State could be a better team later in the season. But yeah, if Tech loses at least one game, Iowa State, looking at their schedule,
Iowa State's got an easy schedule. Very easy.
they got Arizona this weekend. Then they have a bye week, and then they go on the road to Cincinnati and Colorado, and then home against BYU, Arizona State, TCU. At TCU could be an interesting one. So maybe let's say Iowa State at the very least has 1 loss. Texas Tech has 1 loss. Oh, is two losses enough to stay in it?
It's tough. Here's the scenario. Oh gosh, what's Travis saying now?
The next
I got a
2
bone to
games
pick
will,
with you,
will
Travis.
really help define the floor for this team. I couldn't agree more. If we handle business, especially this weekend, even if we play a competitive loss at Tech, we will be a threat to go to Arlington. 100% agree. Now, this is the fun part about sports is you can throw out predictions and hope that you're correct, and then you don't apologize later if you're wrong. You make up the excuse as to why that didn't happen. That's the fun part about sports talk is the projections. But yeah, KU's got 2 weeks here to prove that they do belong and should be considered contenders. Because again, looking across the rest of the Big 12, somebody's going to have to start losing at some point, just given the way we all have to play each other. So I feel pretty good about K's chance right now. But JB, what's your bone you have to pick with Travis?
Well, it's going back to the comment with the C+ game comment that he put up there. Look, Travis, and I get what you're saying here. I don't know. I feel like that was an A+ performance against West Virginia. It just feels come on, like we were so, I don't know, maybe it was just the vibes of being in the stadium, but like I said,
well,
it was
we
so
went through
stress-free.
I think 3 out of 4 drives in a row that stalled, and
So did they.
left. Yeah, I know. So defensively, yeah, I'd say defensively, KU played
Yeah,
as close to an A+ game as you can get.
it was like a slow start, but then like it was just smooth sailing for the rest of the game. And if I'm not going to say A+, then you can definitely say B+. I mean, it was a great game, and I just feel like with how well we did against West Virginia, it makes me feel like we can do that against anybody. And I know West Virginia is not that good. I get that. But I think games like this are a confidence booster. And I think if we continue that momentum, if we beat Cincinnati in the similar fashion, it's like, wow, all of a sudden you have to start looking at this Kansas team like they're going to put up 30 a night guaranteed no matter what, and you better bring your A game. The whole C+ game is like my first instinct when I saw that comment, Travis, was, are you the type of person that says C's get degrees? Because look, like
I don't think he's saying that.
that's not the right mentality. I'm just saying. But I would welcome a game that would be A+ in your eyes, Sir Travis, because I don't know. I think we
So
are
here, I guess we'll put it back to you, Travis, because
we're
you're
capable
there
of it.
watching. Put in the comments, what do you think gets KU from a C+ to an A- game?
There you
Is
go.
it because JD's been really good outside of like 4 throws? To me, I think it's game situation. I said it last week after the Missouri loss. Game situational awareness on behalf of Lance, just getting good feel for the game, I think would put KU over the top. And then the defense, again, the defense was going up against a bad offense and a team that could not throw the ball whatsoever. I mean, almost every throw they made was terrible. So I don't take a whole lot from the defense other than they did what they were supposed to, and they did look really good doing it. Dean Miller had his best game of the season so far. Defensive line, I think, as a whole, had their best game. But they're going to face better offenses. So defensive consistency for sure, because that Mizzou game, they could not get off the field. Now, a lot of that was the offense's fault, not being able to keep the ball. But that's why I think I get where Travis is coming from with the C+. So he says JD has a higher ceiling and O line still has a room. Yeah, that I think this is a good point to bring up the offensive line. They've been doing a lot of rotation with the guards and tackles still. And I think as they hash out who's going to be the consistent starter, I do agree that the offensive line still has some room to get better. JD has had good protection for the most part, but some of the run game has been inconsistent with the offensive line. But am I worried about it? No, but I think Travis, you're spot on there with cleaning up the offensive line a little bit, and JD going a next level when he needs to is what makes this team from a C+ to A- for sure.
I don't know if y'all heard Coach Zabrowski in his press conference this week. He was talking about one of the throws that Jalen had that went over. I don't know if it was Levi Went or no, it was Bryson Canty. It was the throw that went over Bryson Canty's head. And Jalen was like, "Oh, I can't believe I missed that throw." And Zabrowski literally had the same reaction. Zabrowski was just like, hey, it's okay. Calm down. You're okay. I mean, look, for a minute there, I thought we were watching, Illinois or UNLV version of JD6 from last year. But I mean, yeah, he didn't have his best game. But I mean, when the defense and special teams wins you a game, I mean, when's the last time? I would say BYU maybe, but like at home, I can't remember the last time we had the defense and the special teams winning the game for KU. So
The special teams ever been that good?
Very satisfied with that.
I don't think special teams have been this good ever, as long
Never.
as I can remember.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Haven't missed a kick, haven't missed a field goal, haven't missed an extra point.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Tate Nagy does his thing. Finn Lappin, how about field position? I think West Virginia, I saw it somewhere else. West Virginia's average starting position was like the 19-yard line, and KU's average start off kickoffs was like the 39 or something like that. Now, granted, one of those is a 94-yard kick return that bumps that way high, but starting field position was major key. When you're starting on the other end of the field and have a lot longer to go, like that has an impact, not just on your offense, but an impact on the game as a whole. You're putting these long. I mean, there were several times West Virginia punted either near the goal line or from behind the goal line. So props to not just the defense doing their job there, but the punting game, getting the ball down the field. No issues there. Didn't really see much flags in this game from KU's side. Again, kick game looked great. Emmanuel Henderson, my gosh, 23 miles per hour is what he was clocked on that kickoff return. So the speed is legit, fastest player. I don't know how long they've been tracking speed the way they do, but he's probably going to be top 5 all-time Kansas speed when it comes to speed. Jason Bean had the fastest time before this, but 23 miles per hour on a kickoff return, which was coming after a big first half kickoff return. So you knew he was already feeling it. But yeah, all around special teams look great. Consistency for sure. But yeah, Travis said it. Competing for Big 12 championships going to require the two things he said. JD having a higher ceiling offensive line for sure. Yeah, I want to know. I didn't want to spend too much time previewing the Cincinnati game, other than the fact that it's an earlier morning game, again, always interesting. Getting the fans there, getting the student section there. Don't see a reason why we won't still turn up for this game and be excited for it, especially being a nationally televised game. But there is always that concern of a slow start. The opposing team comes in, takes momentum early, but Katie's done a good job of keeping momentum when they're playing in Lawrence. So I'm looking forward to it. I think we'll get off to a 2-0 start. Cincinnati's got another really, really talented mobile quarterback, so we're going to see the run game from the quarterback a lot again. So linebackers, safeties are going to have to be very, very observant, keeping their eyes open. The edge, I think the edge rushers need to be in solid containment on the line. Cincinnati's got a good, like I said, good defensive line. So without Highshaw, let's talk about the run game for a second. Without Highshaw, you're going to see Williams as the main guy, but you're going to see some Harry Stewart and Johnny Thompson. Any concern there with the run game going up against a stout defensive line? And I'll say this too. I think Highshaw's been okay to start the year. I don't think he's been good. Definitely not great. LeSean misses the first game and a half, give or take, and he looked pretty good. Obviously, he had his 2 big chunk plays and a touchdown. But how do we feel, Austin? I'll kick to you first. But thoughts on the run game against another stout defensive line?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough challenge for sure. I think Cincinnati is always known for having a good defensive front. But as far as Johnny Thompson and Harry Stewart getting involved in the run game potentially this weekend, I mean, obviously, they're not going to have the best performances. But as long as they can get, 3 to 4 yards a carry, I think will help open up, some other things for the offense. But, I mean, as long as they can get 3 to 4 yards a carry on the ground, I think that's what we would probably just ask of him to do. I mean, I was really impressed with LeSean last weekend. He looked incredible. And I almost thought at one point I was watching Devin Neal run around, especially with him wearing the number 4 jersey and everything.
He was asked about that at Hawk Talk tonight. I did catch that part.
Yeah, I bet Devin enjoyed it. I think I even saw him comment about LeSean's run. So he was probably sitting there going, hey, that's supposed to be me. That's supposed to be my thing, because he was juking everybody. He looked like Devin Neal on that run. So
I remember the first game he had a 25-yard run in the first game. I was like, wow, that looked like Devin Neal right there. Certainly helps that he's wearing number 4, and they look like the exact same running back in that moment. But yeah he's been solid. So I have the confidence too that he's going to do fine. Not having Highshaw, I think, changes play calling a little bit in some of these maybe 3rd and shorts and whatnot. Change of pace, that kind of thing. But LeSean, he's been solid. I really like Johnny Thompson. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him. He's quick. He's got a nice little burst to him, can change directions. But we saw K go up against a good defensive line several weeks ago, and the run game did absolutely nothing. So even if you have an average run game, I think you can be fine, but need to be stronger at the line of scrimmage and the point of attack for sure.
Yeah, so I think we're going to see more of a pass-heavy, play calling, this Saturday. I think we're going to see a lot of, throwing. I mean, I could see LeSean getting, incorporated into the passing game too, kind of like what we saw on that wheel route touchdown that he had. So we might see more of that this weekend. That'd be my expectation.
Yeah, and maybe some quick strikes, a little bit more of the options, some jet sweeps, something just to keep the defensive line honest, so they're not just going downhill every play. Bob, throw it up there. Can we talk basketball? We will, not in this episode, but we are planning, hopefully tomorrow night, if things go according to plan, maybe Friday night, but definitely want to talk some KU basketball for sure. Now that the off season's fully behind us, they're done with boot camp. Late night's coming up in a few weeks. Yes, we will certainly talk some basketball here very soon. Yeah, I said it to JB and Caleb during the game that as soon as Highshaw went out and LeSean played well, I don't know. I don't know if they said it on Hawk Talk tonight. I don't know if it was in the press conference, but did Highshaw lose the starting job?
No.
By being hurt? If he's healthy, is he still 1A and LeSean's 1B? I don't know.
I think so. How do you take that away from Highshaw after everything he's given this program the last 4 years?
He just the runs he's had this year. He's had a couple, but maybe it's the play calling too. I don't know. Like Highshaw's runs have not been as exciting as LeSean's, but Yeah, I think he's still probably got the edge. But if LaShawn keeps doing what he's doing and looks good like this, you're going to have to give him the ball more. And I think he's a little bit better in pass protection too.
True.
And like you said, I think it's game situations, right? That's probably why we haven't seen as many explosive runs from Highshaw just yet. But yeah, I hope he's getting to feeling better, and hopefully we'll have him back soon.
Travis also said, I believe KU's A game can beat Tech. They're going to need an A game to have a chance for sure.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you
I
probably
do
need
think
A plus.
I do think there's a way KU can beat Tech, but I mean,
And I think really his point is KU's not playing that level of game yet, but is capable.
Right. Yeah,
I agree. KU's certainly capable of doing more. Gosh, Jeff Grimes, man. He did such a number on us. And looking at Wisconsin right now.
I'm like, why are you bringing up that man's name?
I still cannot get over somebody
shall
paying
not be
KU
named.
to break his contract so he could go to Wisconsin and pay him to be a coordinator.
Thank you, Wisconsin. Thank you so much for paying $500,000 to take him off our hands, man.
Well, and just seeing the night and day difference between Zabrowski calling plays, Grimes calling plays. Again, as much as Grimes frustrated us last year, the offense for the most part I think they still finished like top 25 in the country in several major categories. But it was the situational play calling. When the defensive line's been destroying you all game, you go, yeah, let's call a draw on 3rd and 6. Sure, why not? Yeah, that sounds great. Did we send Wisconsin a free basket? I hope we did. We should send them something as a thank you for sure.
Did we send? I think we sent them some champagne too with that $500,000. You know,
something. But Travis, Bob, both very active tonight, so appreciate you guys for doing that. But this was, I think this is great. I mentioned this to JB. I mentioned this to Caleb too. That Highshaw to me runs a lot like Isaiah Pacheco. You give him the ball, he's downhill quick. As fast, he runs as hard as possible. He's tough to tackle. He's got strong legs, but doesn't have the best vision. Doesn't find the hole great. Doesn't have that nice juke ability to take the cut and change direction. LeSean has a little bit more of that, and I think Johnny Thompson does for sure. So that was something I thought of just in comparisons that pretty similar, where you can see how him and Devin Neal were perfect complements for each other. Devin, while he was fast, his was all about being patient, waiting for the hole to open, reading the field, finding the hole, and making the other team make that mistake. And Highshaw was, I'm going to hit you hard, and you're going to have a hard time tackling me. But yeah, that's why I like the LeSean addition, because he's not Devin Neal, and that's big shoes to fill, but good complementary football. Highshaw has a high ankle sprain. That's why pass pro, he has lateral movement. Yep. Good news is that means he has a good chance to return to form for sure. And those high ankle sprains, yeah, you can't do as much. I was worried having new OC and DC would set us back. Turns out to be the tonic we needed. Yeah, I mean, it was evident last year. You needed new voices calling plays. Again, Brian Borland's been with Lance forever and a day, but he could no longer adjust his defense to what the game required. It was, now we're going to play our defense, and if you beat us, well, we're going to try not to lose, but we're not making the adjustment to change how you play. We're going to keep playing the same defense. And it's been night and day difference on both sides of the ball.
I mean, we have a defensive coordinator that's getting into the opposing quarterback's face, getting all hyped up. I mean, what did y'all think about that? I mean,
as a coach, I don't like it personally.
I mean, if it was an opposing team's coach doing that to Jalen, I would probably
we'd be pissed.
Yeah, but you know what? I liked it, but I mean, obviously, not everybody's going to agree with me on that, which is totally fine.
I don't like the look of it in the college level. NFL level is a little different. College level, not a fan of it, but I do like the energy and being fired up, because it fires your defense up. When you see your coach wearing his emotions out there and him getting fired up, it fires you up as a player. So I like it from that aspect.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of pointing to there. But I mean, and no wonder why we saw helmets flying off and all those hard hits. So
yeah, I just keep going back, man. There were several key hits that you were just like, wow, that's like even the wide receiver one. he got off the field after a few seconds and was fine, but I mean, he took a lick and took a few minutes to get up and shake that one. Definitely had the wind knocked out of him. But yeah, there was some hard nosed smash mouth football from KU, and you love to see that because in years past we had one or two guys that could do that, but it wasn't enough to make the defense good. Now you've got guys that can hit you from all aspects of the field. I do think I do have some concern on the back end of the defense for this game because if Mason Ellis doesn't play, and you have to be without Devin Dye for the first half, you are very thin. Austin Alexander a little beat up, Taylor Davis just a little beat up. I think both of those guys are going to play, but there is a little bit of a concern factor there for sure. So you're going to see a lot of Jalen Dye in the backfield. I mean, I thought he had a pretty decent game. Now, again, West Virginia wasn't really throwing the ball at that point, was mostly running it with backup quarterbacks, but still a tall task ahead of us this weekend to go 2-0. I think if I last checked, I want to say KU was a 4.5-point favorite this weekend, which feels about right for where this game is. I think if KU's winning the game, I think they win by more than that. Just the feeling I have right now. But I do think Cincinnati's offense is talented enough to give us some fit. And like Austin mentioned way earlier in the show, that defensive line could definitely give us trouble, especially early on a Saturday morning. Earlier on a Saturday morning. But yeah, last I checked, it's now up to 5.5. So it's growing just a little bit. Over under 56.5. Any other thoughts, predictions? I think we kind of all basically said, yes, we do think the Jayhawks can be Big 12 contenders. Still have a little bit more to show to be considered serious contenders because there's a lot of football left and a lot of other Big 12 teams we just haven't seen really in action play quality opponents just yet.
Jayhawks are winning. That's my prediction.
You said so total 56.5.
56.5.
56.5. Oh boy.
Which I think I like the man, that is a tough number. I think KU gets to 27. So if it's 27, 24 puts it under. I mean, we were way wrong last week.
We were, but that was nobody saw that.
Everybody was wrong. I think all of America was wrong. Did you see Pat McAfee quote tweeted a post from KU's victory? Quote tweeted KU football account was like, "Wow."
No,
because again, nobody saw the blowout coming the way it did. Travis, we appreciate it. Nice job, guys. Thank you. We appreciate that. Love the support. I don't know if we've ever had you comment in any of our episodes before, so thank you for doing so.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. We love Bob over here. We also love getting more people involved as well.
Yeah, we need more than just two. We got 94 people watching right now. 94 plus, and only two to three of you have even comment. There's got to be more fans with comments out there, but that's okay. You're all saving it for basketball season.
You're all shy. It's all right.
Basketball season is going to have a very different feel this year. No more Hunter Dickinson to get you down. No more DeJuan to get you down. No more KJ playing to get you down. I'm pumped to talk about basketball for sure. Like I said, we'll say that for its own standalone episode, of course. But other thoughts, takes you guys want to throw out there? I don't have anything else about this weekend. I guess I'm looking forward to checking in around the rest of the Big 12 to see some other teams in action, to get a better feel for the competition for sure. And of course, I'm going to be tuned in as best I can to K-State UCF this weekend, because that would just be so much fun to watch them lose again, 1-4 with your preseason All-American level Heisman potential quarterback who is supremely gifted and talented athletically, and they refuse to run the ball with them. Don't know what's up with that. Would love some K-State people to figure that out for us, because he's got like 30 rush attempts on the year or something over the first 4 games, and he was averaging close to 10 attempts a game last year.
I need to ask my K-State buddy what's going on with their football team. So maybe, we had John in the past. Chris Kleinman is looking at the Wisconsin job.
Hey, maybe he leaves and Jeff Grimes takes over at K-State. That'd be good for us.
Dude.
But we might have to do a separate and maybe we'll do this during K-State week, which just a little teaser for you guys. K-State week, that Wednesday night of the K-State week, rivalry week, we will be having a live episode at 8 p.m. with a former Kansas football player who played during the Mangino days and remembers this rivalry very much so. I won't say too much else because I don't want to say anything.
He doesn't want to spoil it, you guys.
Yeah. Big time KU player, had a tremendous career. One of my favorite players during that era to watch. But he's going to come on with us that week, that Wednesday night. So put that on your calendar. But we might have to talk, some KU K-State comparison that night too. On Lance has overtaken the recruiting in the state, getting the better players.
Oh.
And I think it's starting to show on the field. K-State has, I wouldn't say struggled, but they have not been as successful in the portal as Kansas has. So the differences between Leipold and Kleiman, not that Kleiman's not into the NIL, but it feels like as a program, KU's more bought into using the NIL to benefit the roster growth, where Kleiman feels like it's more developed, which is fine, but the day and age we're in, we're seeing other programs that take that approach are not as successful consistently. So maybe we'll throw some of that talk in there too. But that's a month away from now.
I just don't know who would want to wear purple when you can wear crimson and blue. Like, come on.
I was telling that to somebody the other day. We were talking about colors. I was like, could you imagine having to wear black and gold as your colors your whole life as a fan? Like that's like I had to do that in junior high. We were black and gold. We were the Cougars. But I was like, I can't imagine doing that. I'm like, purple and silver? Can you imagine having to do that? Just the blue and red's it's perfect.
Perfect.
There are a few like again, not to get distracted here, but outside of KU's blue and red, like Ole Miss, their color scheme of the blue, the red, the baby blue mixed in, the deeper navy. Love the blue and red combo just about any way you can find it.
We have a guess.
Jake Sharp is not going to be the guest. That would be fun too. He's on my list to reach out to, but he would be a lot of fun from that era. But good guess. I'll tease later on that because I want to make a little highlight video of his playing days.
Keegan, we had another comment from earlier. It was another Robert. It was just, I think it's just said like great show.
Shout out Robert. Robert, co-worker of mine at Hy-Vee. Shout out Robert. Thanks for checking us out.
Yeah, got it. Hey, you know what? This is probably the episode where we've had the most fan engagement like ever. So thank you guys. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Bob, this is like if you want a statement on what it means to be brave and bold and a true fan, wearing your KU colors every day in Manhattan. Absolutely. New Testament Christian, dumb question. The Kamaras, are they brothers? No, they are not. John Kamara and Bengali Kamara are not related. Just happen to both have the same last name, both supremely talented and athletic, and happen to play very similar positions. Jayhawk Edits, always appreciate you hopping in too. What high school game, Austin, are you calling this week? And how's that going for you?
It's going good. I'm going to be at Rockhurst this Friday. They're playing Bishop Miege, and I believe that game's going to be aired live on A10 Sports Radio as well, not just on A10 Varsity. So you can catch that game either on A10 Sports Radio or on A10Varsity.com. I'm going to be doing analysts for that game, so I'll be doing all the color commentary Friday night. But as far as future games, I'm not quite sure where I'll be heading, but just for the past few weeks, I've been going back and forth to Lee Summit West High School and Rockhurst. So I've been calling, games for both schools. Speaking of Rockhurst, the one guy that we've, kind of been talking about, as far as, future recruits and all that, Kevin Sullivan, the guy playing tight end. He can also play defensive end too. They're having him play both ways. I've gotten a chance to see him play a little bit, and he looks unbelievable. And I think I've even told you guys before, I might have been an off-air thing, but I was like, if we need like an emergency defensive end, maybe throw Kevin Sullivan in there, just for future seasons. But I've been really impressed with him. So, very excited to see what he ends up doing in a Jayhawk uniform very soon. But I will be at Rockhurst calling their game against Bishop Miege. So that's
Nice.
where I'm at.
Are you gonna call any basketball games or just football?
I'll be doing basketball probably starting in December. Just going off of what I did last year. I did football until like mid-November, I think. So Brian Haney replacement. Nah, come then.
Nah.
No, we love Brian. I appreciate.
I will say this, and I'm trying
I love
to speak this into its existence. If you haven't gone over and checked out Kansas Nation, first off, go do that. They also have a YouTube channel. That's Sean Kellerman, Daniel Corwright, formerly from Rock Chalk Sports Talk on 1320. Great show. They're with 810 now. I am trying to speak this into existence, building a relationship with those guys in the team at 810. Austin's doing varsity 810. I'm working with those guys, hoping we figure out how to get a show over with them too and do some coordination with them. So maybe not Brian Haney replacement, but maybe more shows coming to you as my dog is coughing up a lung in the background here. But yeah, that's I don't know. Replacing Brian Haney, that's tough. I don't know if you can. If there's anyone out there that could do that.
I mean, I think Brian's going to be around for at least the next 15, 20 years, if not more than that. I mean, he's still got a long ways to go, but I mean, yeah, I don't know who would take over it. Time will tell, I guess.
So, somewhat related to this, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this. My goal, like low-key dream job goal, if I ever left KMBC, would be to be like the PA announcer for Kansas. Like, okay, and it sounds weird. It sounds weird right now because I'm not using my PA announcer voice. Like, I
could put you on the spot. Starting lineup.
I could turn it on. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's because I would act the part, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I don't want to use the voice right now.
I
don't know.
100% same boat with you. I'll have to see if I can find it. My mom has a video. I'm pretty sure she recorded a video 1 year around Christmas time. The KU hasn't done it as much lately, but years past around Christmas time for basketball, usually the game right before Christmas or just after Christmas, they would have a special edition of the starting lineup to Christmas style music, pump up music. And there's a video I'm pretty sure she has of me sitting in the car going through as the PA announcer for the Christmas edition, doing the starting lineup. So I'm 100% with you. That would be so much fun to do PA. It'd be so much fun for that. And of course, doing color commentary, play-by-play would be a lot of fun too. I always thought that's what I was going to go to school for, was to do that. Don't know why I didn't, but here we are talking sports anyway. Yeah,
I need to look up how you become a PA announcer. I just need to look it up.
I think, I don't mean to be mean to anybody on this, because I think I would fall in this category myself too. You got to have the voice for it. Like it. The guys that I think that are good PA guys or good color commentary, radio, whatever, they have a distinct voice that is their game voice, and you can tell pretty quick that they have a calling for it. Yeah, maybe good will come from that. I've also talked with Brian. That man has the most impossible schedule, but we will get him on our show at some point, hopefully ahead of basketball season.
Heck yeah.
Just the amount of stories that he could sit there. I was talking to him at the 810 event last week, and just the amount of stories he has from over the years is insane, and he'd be a lot of fun. So we'll try and get that on. But yeah, that's all I got.
I got KU winning this weekend. 30.
Yeah, let's go. Game predictions.
I was going to say 34-24. That's going to be my score prediction.
34-24.
Yeah. Either that or I think it'll be 34-13 and we see another blowout. if KU can, take it.
So let me ask you that. What do you think's more likely? KU wins by double digits or the game's within 6 points? Win or loss? I think it's a win, but
I think by double digits.
I'm on the other end. I feel like it's more likely that it's within 6. I would say my prediction was 28-24, but
that's kind of where I was leaning.
I don't love it. I would love to say I'm more confident that it would be this huge margin. But I'm also well aware that we've kind of been burned in the past by mobile quarterbacks, and that's no bueno. So I think it's going to be a little bit more defensively minded, and I think they might get us in a couple situations, but we'll rally and we'll win.
So you got 34-24, you got 28-24. I'm going to go 31-20. KU wins by double digits. They start slow first quarter. First quarter ends tied 7-7. Second quarter becomes a big scoring quarter. KU goes into halftime up 21-14. And nope, that wouldn't work. 24-7. No, that doesn't work either. I said 31-20. 31-23. 31-23. KU goes into halftime up 20-14. Not that I cannot do math on the fly. KU goes into halftime up 24-14 because their offense explodes in the second half and controls time possession. Ends up 31-23, which covers.
Nice.
So yeah, there we go. We got KU starting off 2-0, Big 12 play. Ooh, here's another good question. Not to keep going on, but if KU wins this weekend, is it enough to get them ranked?
No.
Still think they need one more?
I think get a convincing win at UCF and we'll be talking.
Yeah, I think I agree there because your big road loss, your big road game was a loss. Yeah, I like that. So
all right,
get it done this weekend.
Here's a hypothetical. Would you rather have us win against Cincinnati? We beat UCF. We go on. We win against Texas Tech. We cement ourselves as Big 12 champion, but we lose to K-State. Or would you rather beat K-State this year?
I knew you were going to go that route.
Beat K-State this year, and we end up with a bowl game still. We're not Big 12 champions, but we beat K-State. Which one would you rather have? Big 12 champs after beating Texas Tech?
So are you guaranteeing us we win the Big 12 championship?
Guaranteeing we
or we play in the game.
Not only do we beat Texas Tech, we end up becoming Big 12 champs, having taken down Texas Tech along the road, and win or lose to but we lose to K-State.
I think I take that because it also means college football playoff.
Yeah. Really though,
with the chance to have a college football playoff game.
That's fair. Yeah.
In the bigger picture, if you take the rivalry aside for a second, you just look at the big picture of the game. It's Big 12 championship.
But it's K-State. But it's K-State.
Ohio State lost. Ohio State lost to Michigan at home, and then they went on and won the national championship. So
now, if you were to say KU plays in the Big 12 championship, but it comes at a loss to K-State, but you're not guaranteeing me Big 12 championship, maybe.
Ooh, if you're not guaranteeing a for sure winning the Big 12 championship, then.
But I think I have to take the championship. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it's about: winning championships.
That's true.
That's a good one.
So you just want to go to the game. You want to go to that Big 12 title game, and you don't care if it means losing to K-State. You want to go to the Big 12 title game.
Yeah, because that's still bigger. That's bigger than a win against K-State.
These other two guys, they don't hate K-State as much as I do.
I like
Oh, trust me, I don't like K-State. I just don't
it's winning. It's winning the bigger games more important. I
Oh
think.
my god, my head says that, not my heart.
I'm gonna clip this and we'll play it on Twitter and see what people say later. Because I do think that's an interesting scenario.
People are gonna make fun of me so much.
So you would JB saying, hold on, let me get the right banner up for this.
Oh no,
JB, say that again. What'd you say about that?
I said I would rather beat K-State than win the Big 12 this year. That's what it boils down to. I'd rather beat K-State. I can wait. Yeah, it's a stepping stone thing. Beat K-State, and then maybe next year we win the Big 12. But I got to beat K-State first. That's where I stand. I don't care. College football playoff? Don't care. I would rather beat K-State. That's just me.
You heard it here first. I don't know about that one, man. Stepping stone. We have a completely different team next year. I want to see JD go out a winner.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Don't give me that.
I completely agree with JB, but don't quote me.
I appreciate it.
That's a tough one. We'll throw that one up on Twitter and see what people said the rest of the week. That's a good one. And any other final thoughts as we wrap up?
Nope.
Really excited that this game's going to be on TNT this weekend. I said it like a little while ago, but I watched the broadcast for the Kent State Texas Tech game. And it was unbelievable. They blew it out of the park. They had like a pregame show, and then they were interviewing Tech's quarterback before the game. He had him mic'd up, so might get to see Jalen do that as well. But it was really well put together, I think, and just some of the camera views that they have, like during the game when they score touchdowns, all that. It's going to look real neat.
Yeah, should be fun. Subscribe, rate, review. If you're on Spotify, give us that follow over there. Give us a 5-star review over there. We'd appreciate that. YouTube, of course, hit that like button, subscribe below. Follow us on any of our social medias at KCSA Pod. We'll post some of this. And then, like I said, tune in either sometime later this week or early next week. We will be talking KU basketball, so come prepared. Feel free to send any questions our way as well about the basketball team, the season, the schedule. We're going to dive into all of that next week or whenever we do it next. So send any of that our way. We would love that. If you haven't, again, go check out my interview with Tyshawn Taylor, also up on our YouTube page right now. A lot of fun. It was a short conversation, only about 7 minutes long, so it's quick, easy watch, but grilled him on the TBT, KU's loss, and if you want to know why he didn't play despite the dozens of fans from the sidelines screaming
including
at him,
me,
including you and me, to get him into the game, he has the answer for you in that clip. I asked him before we sat down if I could grill him on it. He said, absolutely. I would love nothing more. Bring it on. So go check that out. It was a lot of fun. It was great catching up with him. Saw him at that same event. So really cool. Yeah, we'll wrap up there. Appreciate you guys as always for following us. Of course, it's always right as we get to the end of our stream that we get to the largest peak in traffic, but that's how it goes. So hopefully those that caught on late, you go back and watch the first half. We'd appreciate it. But yeah, we'll wrap up there. Appreciate it as always. Rock Chalk, and we will catch you guys in the next episode.
Rock Chalk.